Hi, welcome to Train Talk. I'm Monnie Aleahmad, your host, and I'm here to guide you through an interview of different creatives and interesting people that'll explain to us about their life, their art, and their passions. And we'll see where the conversation goes. After all, we're all writers on this train of life. So join us.
Could we actually start with a game? It's like a game. Is that all right?
What do you want to do? Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I just want to start with the slappy game.
Oh.
Like I'm an adult.
Okay.
I'm not a child. You seem pretty adult-like too. But
Sure. Yeah. I
if
mean,
we
I
could
mess around though.
All right. Yeah. But you just seem fast.
Yo.
Yeah.
I mean, I try.
All right, ready?
Let's go.
Oh shit. I'm gonna break the.
No.
Okay,
You're good. You're
here we
good.
go.
You're good. Oh.
Oh, that
was.
I got a finger. I got
like
like
a
finger,
three.
but it wasn't enough.
All right. It's
I
tough. I feel like we need a ref to call that one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nobody else.
Yeah, I know there's no one else here. Yeah. Right. We can do slow-mo. Let's get a replay.
Yeah, that's right. Can we get that?
Can we get that replay?
Is that in the trees somewhere out there? Just.
No, you're quick though, man.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
dude, I haven't played that game in like so long.
Really long time.
That was pretty long.
When did we lose this childlike thing?
That's a really good question.
Is it the news?
The news. It was the first time I saw the news.
Yeah.
As a human, I was like, I'm done being a child.
Like suddenly we're like, like we have to be adults and be responsible, but how? I don't know what to do.
For me, it was like I was like goo goo gaga, and then it was like the Dow Jones is down. I was like, damn it! Like, time to go to work.
That's right.
That's right. All right. So let's to start off the show. First off,
Yeah.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm pretty sure at that. I've been asking myself this a lot, actually. Yeah. So I'm an actor, kind of. I'm actually sometimes I'm a really good actor.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'm really good.
Oh, well, I feel that. Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm complete shit. and sometimes that doesn't get edited out.
Oh God.
I talk to my agent. I'm like, why
did they do that?
Why
to
do you
me?
do?
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. But no, I'm a man that is now heading toward making a short film. As all good artists do when they hit a certain age. You come in, son, you've come to that age where you have to make a short film, and you're going to be having film intercourse with many people.
Yeah.
And it's important.
So this is post Birds and the Bees.
Yeah. This is
That Birds and
it's
Bees
the second.
first,
Yeah, that
and
happens
then
first.
it's
It is
the short film talk.
That's right.
I remember it well. Yeah.
So anyway, who am I? Actor. We're writing that. It's very exciting. We're going to be putting it into festivals, and people still go to festivals, right?
People do.
Yeah.
From what I
so much has changed since COVID.
That's true. A lot of, I don't remember what's going on now in festival world, but I know a lot of them, they did go virtual for a while.
Yeah, even Sundance has a virtual aspect.
I don't know, are they still doing virtual stuff, or are they trying to get people in there?
I think, from last I heard, they are trying to continue the virtual thing as like a kind of like a leg of their two-legged thing.
That makes
you have
sense.
your in-person, where things you can only see in person, other things that you can only see virtually.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it would make sense to just have like a separate ticket for just, I just want to watch certain films. Like, why do I have to go there? You have it there digitally. You can stream it, you know? Like, why make me do that? Let me purchase a ticket, Sundance, online to watch a film or a block of films, and I will give you my money, okay? Like, I'm just letting y'all know.
I want to embody Sundance right now.
Yeah.
Say that's okay.
That's okay.
and do that for you.
I feel seen.
Yeah.
I feel seen. Thank you, Sundance.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sundance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you say your name for our audience?
My name is JonPaul Tilleman. There is an E. There's an E in the middle of the Tillman, so it's like Tilleman. Tilleman.
Ah.
Tilleman.
It's-
Tilleman.
Tilleman sounds more musical.
Yeah.
Like JonPaul Tilleman.
Yeah, it's I cannot help but move my head when
It's
you do that.
fancy. Yeah, it's
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah.
No, I am not musical. In fact, that's one of the things that I have always wanted to be in my life,
Get
and
outta
I
here.
feel like my confidence has always been like just under what I want it to be, and it's the fact that I can't sing that keeps me from really
You know,
like hitting that thing. You know,
I share this feeling.
you do.
I feel like if I could sing, nothing could hold me back.
Really?
I know it's not a true thing, but in my mind, deep in the depths of that, there is that feeling. I'm like, I wish I could. If I could sing, I would be blah blah blah.
Just
Like,
throw my voice from the top of the cantina. Sweet. Wait, I told myself I would never sing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay,
sorry.
it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we cut away to
sorry,
like
yeah.
you in Phantom of the Opera.
Oh my
It's
God.
like, oh,
Yeah.
man.
In sleep I sang. Okay. Yeah. No.
Oh man, dude. But no. Have you taken voice lessons before? Have you tried?
No, I mean I've taken speech voice lessons, so
Yes.
I can speak loudly.
That's cool.
But no, I can't hear. There's this unfortunate thing where like, you know, when I've been to church at different places, like I used to go to church in high school and when I was a little kid, and to even like Christmas carols and stuff like that. So during the holidays, I've always tried to just like will myself into singing well,
Oh man.
you know?
Yeah.
And will only gets people so far. Like I know there are a lot of movies about like willpower and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's only so much you can really do.
Yeah. It's not like a a cure-all, you know, but it'll get you on the stage.
Yeah.
It won't make you good.
No.
But that's cool though.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever do karaoke? It's like, how badly do I want people's ears to bleed?
So I was in Ireland. I have a sister that lives in Ireland.
Yeah.
And I was really drunk. I had a bunch of Guinness, of course. And one of the musicians had finished his set, and I saw the guitar on the stage, and I just, like pushed some chairs out of the way, and it was rowdy, and there was a sport game going on, and like, old men were like shelling out cards and trying to win these baskets. And I get on the, it's like a whole gambling thing that they do for very little money. But I get on stage and I pull up the guitar and I try to think of the one song that I know, and it was this, like, it was like 2008 or something, so it was this Jack Johnson song. And I just start like playing and singing as loud as possible, and at first it gets like really silent, but like not in a good way, where it's like the whole room is staring at me, and then more and more people are talking, and then it gets really loud about halfway through, and I got through like 2/3 of the song and then just stopped. And that's when I just realized there was no point on doing karaoke, because it's like I'm not going to bring joy to myself, and I'm definitely not going to bring joy to anyone else. But we can have joy talking about
exactly.
this,
Oh my God, this is a great story.
Yeah.
But I think that's the key though. For I'm not a great singer. I don't even think I'm a good singer. But I enjoy karaoke because for me it's fun, and I have so much fun with it that even though I'm not a great singer, people tend to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like, if I am not enjoying the experience of singing it, it's gonna be atrocious.
Right.
And I think that's like the real fun of karaoke. LA is kind of rough though, because when you go to do karaoke out here, it's always like American Idol. Like I feel like every time I've ever been out doing karaoke, everyone's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're singing freaking Bohemian Rhapsody and they're like hitting all the notes. I'm just like, what the heck? This is a dive bar, bro. Chill out.
Yeah. Like
but
all 4 octaves.
yeah. What the heck?
Yeah.
But it's. For me though, what's fun is like when there's someone that's up there, it doesn't matter if they're good or not, but like if they're having a good time, I'm having a good time. If they're dancing, they're into it, like whatever it is, like that's what I'm about. Anyways,
Maybe I'm singing in the wrong city.
maybe. Yeah, you need to go to Reno.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Need to go to Needles.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, what?
Oh shit, is that a moose?
Yeah. There's a whole family of down there. Yeah, you can wave at them, or moose wave. Ooh. I don't think that's real. No, we can cut that. So, as an artist, you would consider yourself mainly an actor?
Yeah. I mean, I like an actor. I mean, a writer as well. But I think that every good actor is also a writer in a sense.
100% agree with that.
You know, always thinking about like,
The story.
what else you can do, how somebody's emotions even have anything to do with what's going on in the scene, and like what's next, and you know, like why is this important, and I mean, I know for myself, I'm always thinking about what I can add to a character, and most directors, a lot of directors, especially for like lower quality stuff, really struggle with talking to actors about what they want.
Oh yeah.
And so probably, as you know, because you're an actor as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you like, I worked on a 72-hour film festival thing, which was like the people who won the 48-hour film festival ended up doing this like credit card commercial for Visa thing, and this was like 15 years ago.
Sure.
And I remember the director did the exact thing that a writing teacher said never to do, which was to try to speak about emotions in colors, or like, you know, what somebody's doing in color. So he said, well, you're gonna get out of the washing machine and go, ah, and you just see a bunch of blue. And then you'll wave your hand and then go, and then step forward, and that's the scene. And I was fucking confused.
I am also confused, so I understand.
Yeah.
That is, what?
Anyway,
I have so many questions.
But these directors exist, you know?
Oh, they do.
Yeah, so you just have to, as an actor, you have to basically write an entire thing, because you're not going to get it from the director of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Have some different choices, and
That's like that's an added challenge to this profession, is like sometimes you have to decipher the direction that you're given.
Yeah.
You know, and then turn it into something that you can make actionable. You know, and I like it when a director, when you have a rapport with a director and you understand their language already, or if they just naturally speak the language of an actor and they speak in actions, or they speak in something that's easily comprehensible. But yeah, no, you're right, man. You don't always get that, you know? Like, it's tough to overcome that. What did you do?
I tried to will myself through it.
Yeah.
I tried to do.
I mean, I guess the best you can do is just try to decipher, try to maybe ask a follow-up question, but it's like at that point, I feel like that's how they're speaking, you know?
Yeah. I think at that point, you know, in all of the acting that I've done, and you know, like we've worked together on you know, some indie projects. A lot of my way of thinking about acting has just mellowed out a lot, and a lot of that has to do with my age and just like, you know, living life and going through a lot of normal, mundane, everyday things.
Yeah.
But at that time, when I was 20, I just thought I needed to be the most entertaining electric person alive at all times. And if I was not, you know, then I would be unwanted. And so it's like, what did I do? I mean, I just was like, well, if I have to do the and blue and as much as possible. Anyway.
I can relate.
We did not win the competition.
Oh, man.
But it was not my fault.
No,
I tried to will it into fucking existence.
It's what it is, though. You know, you can't win them all. But I relate, man. Like early on, when you finding your voice as an artist is so challenging. And you know, like, okay, the thing that got me here is that I'm entertaining. You know, there's something about me that people are interested in. And so, their first impulse is like, well, let me be more entertaining. You know, like whatever that means in the moment. Like I don't put, I used to not put much thought into it at all. You know, yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're kind of like trapped by that though?
Oh, it's a 100% a trap. It's
Right.
a cage of its own.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's honestly for me, like looking back, it's like the worst place to be as an artist
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't considering myself an artist. I was considering myself an entertainer.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, and like I wasn't saying anything with what I was doing besides look at me. You know, which is kind of antithetical to being an artist because there's no expression in that. There's no like look at me do something
Right.
or listen to what I have to say. It's all about like a spectacle or just like a blur of energy, you know, and that is not really art unless it has something to say, you know, like does that make sense? Yeah. I feel like that's what a lot of my early artistic career was like, you know, like jump on a stage and do your best to make this thing interesting, you know. Yeah.
Sorry, just a little piece of me just got really, really depressed.
Go for it.
For for a moment, like I think there are many artists that experience this. Like Jonah Hill came out with that documentary before, but I struggle with like kind of on and off depression and idiosyncrasies and things like this that sometimes keep me from like really being as, I don't know, like creative as possible or like really trusting myself to connect with other people.
Yeah.
Even feeling like ashamed of myself, and like not in a way that I'm like, oh, I can use that. Like that feeling of shame, I know exactly what it is. And let me put that on camera. It's like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Do you think that it's related to you being an artist, or do you think it's more just like, I don't know, like a cultural like thing where because we exist in such a capitalist society that art is like its own, it's kind of like you feel separate from.
I don't know. I mean, I would hesitate to blame the world or the capitalist society. I mean, there are plenty of people who I know experience a lot of challenges and are able to move forward and create beautiful art and have beautiful lives. I was just listening to the Hot Ones with Donald Glover, and
Oh yeah.
it's like, I mean, what an incredibly beautiful person, right? But
Man, what a guy. Yeah.
Like,
such a fan.
I can't imagine that he like just glides through life, like a
No.
a
He seems like
swift.
I don't think anyone that has that much to say in their art is a person that isn't struggling with demons.
Yeah.
Like you have to. Sadly, it is kind of true that I think like artists, like comedians, we see a lot of it in comedians nowadays too, where like they're dealing with so much where like they have to say something.
Right.
And it ends up coming out in this way, in this comedic way,
Right,
It's just because like they have such strong feelings and emotions about everything around them, that they have to get up on stage and say some shit, and the best way for them to deal with it is to make people laugh, and sometimes we're dealing with the world in weird ways, but we don't get to just make people laugh, like, because as an artist we have to interpret something through a different story, someone else is telling the story and we're a vessel, like in that moment, right? And so like it's really difficult to tie your worth to your artistic expression. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's
especially if you don't really know, other than in like CDs sold, like what your expression is really even worth.
yeah.
Or like, I guess, today it wouldn't be like, cassettes, released at your local VHS store. But, your like hits on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or something.
I guess, so what do you think is, what should we be, okay, let me ask you this first.
You ask me that.
Where do you place your value as an artist?
I think that for me, as an artist, I think there are two things that are really important to me in my moving forward.
Yeah.
And this is just like as an art, like as a business, it's completely different.
Sure.
And we can talk about that. But
Yeah.
as an art, it's like, am I answering a really important question? Am I specific in what we're trying to say?
Yes.
It's something that for a long time I was really guilty of. It's like, I'm gonna be the entertainer, man, but like not really say anything.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that I've been so afraid of trying to ask the wrong question, or I don't know, ask any question that somebody could like laugh at, basically.
Yeah.
That like, why are you asking that? You must be stupid. That I would be afraid of actually asking anything or saying anything specific, especially for fear of like coming off as like trite or I don't know, like antiquated or something.
Yeah.
Especially now. And then the other thing is really about, am I furthering my actual like craft, like my ability to express something? Like, am I doing something that is different than I've done before?
Yeah.
Like I was on a shoot recently where I thought that the actor that I was acting against was was like complete garbage. I was like, God, he's like doing nothing. Like he's not giving me anything. And I was like, had this whole idea of what I was going to do and played up this whole scene, and the director and DP and everybody were so focused on like the shadows in the glass and the angle and everything that we didn't talk about character or like tone or anything at all. And then when I saw the footage back, I was like, fuck, like that guy was amazing, like that I was acting against.
Oh, yeah.
And I just came off as like no different than this. I mean, just kind of like an actor that is talking.
Sure.
Instead of like the character who is living his life.
Living in the moment. I see
in
what
the
you
moment,
mean. Yeah. But it is tough though when you. That's a challenge with film. It's like I started in theater, and so like when I started doing films, like I realized like, oh, we're performing, but day one we're performing, but it feels like the first audition. It doesn't even feel like we've been to rehearsals, and that's like constantly a struggle with film. Is like a lot of times you get no rehearsal. You don't even really know the people you're working with until you show up on set.
Yeah.
And so like. Yeah, a lot of times the whole concept of the project that you have in your head is way different from everyone else's. Yeah. Oh man, that's a real problem. And it's difficult to address because you wouldn't even know. No one on set is saying anything. Like you don't even know until you see the project what the hell they had in mind,
Yeah. And it's true. I mean, even sometimes like when you have those, conversations with the director and actors, you'll do a Zoom call beforehand.
Sure.
It seems like everybody's on the same page, but then when like the lights go up and the tracks are on the ground and the noise and the scripties like fixing your fucking collar, it just you like all of that it just goes out the window. And so you could say that's where the training comes in and theater training.
Oh yeah. Have you have you done theater? Have you had training in
I
theater
have
stuff?
actually.
Do you want to talk
As
about
a matter of fact, I did a one-man show up in San Francisco.
Get out of here!
I did. Yeah, it was called.
That's serious.
It was very fun. Yeah, we had a lot of people that mostly like I have a family that loves that I'm acting, and they invited a bunch of people. My friends invited a bunch of people, and so I had this packed little house in a theater called Piano Fight that is no longer there. COVID.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, I get you.
Oof, sad. It was a sweet little spot. But the show was great. The show was fun and energetic and exciting, and I just remember like I had practiced so fucking hard on every move that I was doing that every moment, every sound cue and the whole thing, that like that first night the show began, I was so nervous because I hadn't done theater in a while. like since like high school basically.
Man, yeah.
And then like next thing I know, it was like over and the lights came down and I'm, you know, shaking and I just feel so proud of myself,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I go downstairs into the green room. I'm just by myself. And I look in the mirror and I like pat myself on the shoulder. I'm just like, yeah, like you did it. You did it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a wonderful feeling. I love
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah.
I love theater. I love
Yeah.
the immediate interaction. I love people just like giddily staring at you from their seats.
Oh, it's the best.
Just waiting,
oh,
you
it's
know?
the best, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh. Yeah, that's the sad thing, though. It's like, if I could do theater and make good money, like, you know, make a decent living, oh man, I would love to. But I feel like there's like no plays that pay almost anything. It's like, I don't know. It's such a rough existence, man. Anyways, what do you think your art actually says about you? Like, if someone was to like watch all of your acting, everything that you've ever done and stuff, do you think that they'd have a takeaway?
I don't know. I think that they would think I'm funny.
That's a huge fucking thing, man. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
It's hard for me to not try to find the humor in things, you know.
Yeah, but that's the real skill. I mean,
Yeah.
the best actors all have impeccable timing. You
Mm-hmm.
know. What would you? Is there something that you would like to say in your art? Like, is there a specific thing that you think like this is what I want to contribute?
Yeah, I think for me, like, I would like to do art that really is about telling stories about people really discovering their okayness in the world. You know, it's like that they're okay.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Like, I think that there are a lot of people that are really trying to work really hard at being things that that have nothing to do with that, like nothing to do with their spirit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
to do with their their real identity underneath
Yeah,
everything.
trying to fit some other outside vision of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and some people are doing, you know, are working really hard and with the very thing that is kind of their core, but
Sure.
but so much, especially in this country, so many people are just like so just attached to these ideas that really have nothing to do with like their core values, and I think therefore keep people from like having really great mental health, you know, like we talked about earlier for myself, and also for like creating greater senses of community, and really feeling okay. And I think right now, just like with where politics are at, and even this industry is at, you know, like feeling okay and still really working hard is kind of novel right now.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing. Anything that makes us feel, you know, more connected,
Yeah.
you know, is, I think, so important and powerful and necessary. You know, we live in such a weird bifurcated media system, and like we have so many things that separate us, and the more we can realize that, hey, you know what, guess what, we are all in this together, you know, like that's what we need, man. We need to stop with all the you this, you did that, you did that. It's like, what about us all, you know, achieving a better society? You know, like, come on. Cool. What to you, what does it mean, just in a general sense, I guess, or you can be as specific as you want, to be alive?
That is something that I'm continuing to discover.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Being alive. I mean, I'm really glad we're not in a war. You know?
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
because then we're talking about being alive in a very different context.
Yeah.
You know, but for what we're talking about.
Because that's barely like that's not even really a life worth living, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, especially a war that you don't really believe in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's no one I would really want to necessarily go to war with. I'd rather talk to them first and be like, "What's up? Like, you got some problems with me? Let's talk about it. Maybe we can work something else. Is this not working for you?
Yeah.
Do I need to change this?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, but that's the thing about. God, if it was only that easy. That's the
It's
thing
not
about
that
war.
easy.
The war is never something that you get to choose. It's imposed on you.
No.
You know, the people that are the soldiers aren't the ones deciding to be there. The people that are being bombed and shot or whatever aren't deciding to be there. You know, it's some other powers that be always. You know, but yeah, I mean, you'd think like that would be the ideal situation. It's like, well, let them talk it out. You know, it's like no. At that point, it's not up to them. Somebody else in some back room made the decision that this war is happening.
Right,
you know?
right. Which is why we should not talk about that kind of life.
Yes.
So what kind
Yes.
of living are we talking about?
So just it's in general,
life,
you know, just being alive, you know. I think you had a decent answer though. Like being alive though is sounds like to me what you're saying is recognizing that, look, the life that we have now, the life that you have now, it could always be worse, right? So being able to take advantage of what is available to you in your life, you know, maybe that's, I don't know, is that something like,
Yeah, you know, it's like, it's that, and, you know, really not listening to a podcast while I'm drinking my glass of fizzy water.
Yeah,
you know?
enjoy the fizzy water.
Just feeling the fizzy water like cling to my nose and crawl up into my brain.
Yeah, a hint of a pineapple.
Yeah,
you know?
that's life. That's life.
I love that.
That's right. That's right.
What does it mean to you to be human?
So my first answer to that was really stupid.
Oh, I love it. Give me the stupid answer.
No,
it was a good answer.
Yeah. So the first answer was like, well, let's say what it's not. You know, it's not to be a monkey.
Unless you can make money being a monkey.
Which we do know some people who have done that.
Damn
like
right.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
That's right.
Shout out to Andy Serkis, buddy. Right
yeah,
there.
thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
So there's that. Human. Yeah, I mean, this comes right back to the whole thing of like, being human is about being conscious, in my opinion. It's about being conscious of the choices that we're making. It's about being conscious of like who we're spending our time with and like what we're eating and how we're eating and like all of these things. And although that might otherwise sound really mundane, when I give food to my dog, she does not think about it. She's 16 years old and she eats like she's one, and she just snarls it and then it's done, and then her legs fail her and she's sitting on the floor and she's just kind of staring out into space because she has dementia. Now, humans also have dementia and can be 16 years old, although they look different. Usually 16-year-olds don't have dementia.
It's true.
But that's not what we're talking about. The thing is that being human, I think we can, it's like that moment in Dune where he sticks his hand in the box.
Yeah, the ganja bar or whatever.
Yeah, the ganja bar, exactly, yeah. Although I've always been confused, honestly, if the box was the ganja bar or the needle is the ganja bar.
I am confused on that as well.
Because when I read the book, I thought it was the box.
Yeah.
But then the movie seemed to indicate that it was the needle.
So I'm not the only one that thought that.
No, yeah, did Villeneuve get that wrong? Or
I don't know. Maybe I felt like that when I was watching, but then I completely forgot about it later and stuff. But,
yeah.
Oh, wow. Now I need to watch it again.
Yeah, so we need to read it page by page while we're watching it and like take notes, and we need to film the whole thing and then have other people comment on it.
Well, so comment below. Which one is the ganja bar? The ganja bar? Is it the thing you put his hand in?
It's the ganja bar.
Or is it the needle? All
the
right.
bar where we all have the
ganja bar. That's my house.
Yeah.
All right. Whoa. So, okay, where were we? We just went.
We did, yeah. Life. So being human and like so just basically being able to have that consciousness to make choices. And the choices is that's where the humanness is. Do we want this? Do we want that? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
How are we going to be? How are we going to behave? You know.
Yeah.
Like being thoughtful, all of that is being human. Although that's all like changing now with AI and everything. 10 years from now we might be like, that's not human. That's we have AI doing that, and would you say AIs are human?
Yeah. Oh man.
Would you even pluralize AI? I don't know.
Ooh. I mean, probably at some point we'll have multiple different AI running different things, So like maybe there's like all the mundane stuff will be run by AI, like all of like the basic, camera work. It's like, hey, AI, set up camera for 35 millimeter shot at this angle, set up lighting for this, and then like probably basic editing will be AI run. Like, just make it seem like a regular interview show, and it'll do all that, and then what becomes human will change. Because if all of our media that we're interpreting about us is also partially programmed by AI, then it's literally rewriting the way we're visioning ourselves, you know? That's a really messed up prospect, actually.
Yeah, I almost said I hope so. But
it could be a good thing.
Yeah.
But it could be a disastrous thing, depending on what the effects are,
Yeah.
Because it's also the idea of like we're giving away power for a little bit of control. We're giving a little bit of a control away for maybe a little bit more time, or maybe, I don't know, a little bit more efficiency,
Maybe, but it's like, okay, so this is my thought on this, which is like, basically, you're describing AI as this thing that basically replicates a bunch of people that do these mundane tasks, or one person doing a bunch of mundane tasks.
Sure.
So it's like, say I have 12 different servants that do a bunch of things around the house, but I fire all of them and get an AI to do all of that, because it also has robots that, work with it. And basically, am I going to be any happier in my life having the robots and the AI than I did have, Gretchen and Henry and Mildred and, the other 9
Man, I
servants?
find that
Or is it about like me, or is it more like
that's a tough
more like a
question.
car where it's like, well, we can drive from A to, A to B really fast just using gas. And we don't have to get in the horse carriage and maintain the horses and do all this. Like,
True.
is it more like that?
I would argue that both have a negative correlation with happiness, because I think, personally anyways, I think the further I'm removed from people and creatures in general, the less happy I am.
Yeah.
The more interactions I have with people, especially in a positive way, the much better I feel. Not only people, the horses, man. Like, back in the day when we was riding horses, like, I think we had a much more realized connection with nature in that sense.
So that might be true.
Yeah.
That might be true. But then, like, I've never seen a Western where people look happy riding horses.
Oh my God.
They're always like, oh, I mean, it might be the time because they don't brush their teeth or something like that.
Maybe,
but so they have like some tooth decay.
But I will say this though, like, that is very true of the trope. But whenever I've been around horses, you can't take that smile off my face. I think horses are cool as shit.
All right.
Like I've been on a horse maybe a couple times my whole life, but like I've been around them a bunch of times, and I'm like, this is so cool. And even when we talk about like having being alone sometimes is nice because it gives you some headspace, some room to think. But I would much rather have the option of just using public transit if it was more convenient, just to be around like the people like that you're around. And my issue
Do you think
is, like,
that LA will ever have
Yes.
a public transit?
50 years from now,
Oh, yeah.
I think we will have a mediocre
No.
public transit system.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
I think it takes a while. but
Yeah,
I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen. I think the U.S. will have high-speed rail and will have a much more robust public transit system, but it's going to be like once we have beaten back all the enterprises that are fighting that.
Well, let's save that for another interview.
Yeah.
Where we or another conversation on
fair.
the train. When we're on the train talking about trains, we'll talk about that then.
Oh, so meta. We
Yeah.
got train talk right there.
That's a big subject.
Do you think like you have a responsibility as a human?
That is a good question. So a couple of answers to that.
Yeah, man, take your time.
Yeah. So one is like, as a human, there is a responsibility to further the human race, like to repopulate. I do not believe every human has to do that. So
Sure.
there are enough people doing that where the human race is doing fine. We're still on the upward trajectory, as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean,
Nobody's told me anything different.
listen,
So
unless those whales got something planned, I think there's not much
Yeah.
going to be there to hinder us.
other than that, no, I don't think that there's any responsibility for human beings. I think that, like, if you want to be a good human being, you know, you have a responsibility not to be an asshole.
Sure.
You know, you have a responsibility
Yeah.
to, like, reach out and try to help other people if you can.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about just, is there a responsibility as a human? Absolutely not. Humans can do whatever they want to do. There are consequences.
Absolutely.
But yeah, responsibility is kind of like a strange word for me, which is what makes it a good question.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because it's bizarre.
Yeah. I personally, do you feel like, I kind of feel like that responsibility sometimes has a negative connotation to it. Like, it doesn't feel like always a good thing. You know? And I don't know if that's a personal, like, affront to responsibility, because of a lot of the responsibilities that society puts on you are not things that you really want. You know, like when you think about jobs, a lot of times, and the responsibilities you have in your jobs are often things that you don't even want to be doing. You know, but it's like, well, you want to make more money, you need more responsibility, which translates to you need more shit work to do to fill your time. You know?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, if you say, hey, do you have a responsibility as a human being?
Yeah.
No, but if you want to be a father or a husband, or you know, an employee or a boss or a a caregiver of some kind, you know, it's like all of these come with a huge amount of responsibilities. So responsibility is completely contextual. But human beings, it's like the Blue Lagoon, you know? This is kind of weird, but like, did he have a responsibility to sleep with his sister, or vice versa? I don't think so. What are we even talking about? I don't know. I don't know.
Yo, Blue
Human
Lagoon,
beings.
though,
there are no responsibilities.
Oh, what a film.
It's contextual.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I know, I saw that when I was like the same age as the children. It was horrifying.
Man, I saw it when I was too young to see it too, I think.
Too young.
And I was like, oh, it really messed with my mind.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for the experience, because like I saw it again as an adult, and I was all like, oh, this is asking a lot of weird questions, you know? It kind of like reframed my brain when I saw it again as an adult. I was like, oh, cool.
All right, well, maybe I should revisit it.
Maybe, you know. Shouts to Blue Lagoon for being weird. So, do you think that you have a responsibility as an artist?
Yes. Yeah, I think as an artist, it's important to speak to the things that you value. You know, it's important to really, or I'll use I statements. I think that it is of the utmost importance for me to step forward and push my values into the world through my art. And my values are, you know, if we go back to the whole idea of, you know, it's okay, I want people to feel more okay. Probably the place to start will not be like to immediately go and make a bunch of people politically wrong for their views. You know what I mean? To walk in and be like, you're a bunch of fucking idiots. You fucking idiots.
But that doesn't work?
That would not be aligned to my values, you know?
Fair.
So I have a responsibility to do things that really continue to push it forward. And honestly, like, you know, that's like, it probably won way too many Oscars. Or not Oscars, Emmys, sorry.
Okay.
But that's why I loved Ted Lasso so much, because it was like really fun. It was kind of like, had like a family comedy vibe, but then like got really intense, and some people didn't like that, but that's what they valued, you know?
You know what I love about that? It is one of the few examples of like modern media that shows like very healthy masculinity, you know?
Yeah.
Men that are doing in a very masculine field, sports, athletics, in a locker room, right? That are, learning to respect each other, and treat each other kindly with love, with, and holding each other's passions, gently. It's like, hey,
it's so great.
Supporting each
It's
other.
so
Like
great.
I love so much of it. Yeah, if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, go check that out.
Yeah, it's like, where have you been for the last 7 years?
I could see you in a show like that.
7 years?
Probably.
No,
I feel
it's
like
probably
it's
like only
a long
4
time.
years, actually.
What a great cast,
I know.
too.
It feels like it's been around forever.
Oh, the Christmas special? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the
That's
Christmas
so
special.
fun,
Yeah, her
man.
voice is amazing.
Oh my God. Is there anything that you would personally like to contribute to the world? Like outside of your art, just as a person?
I don't have an answer to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I searched long and hard. I just went like...
So, like, if we think about, like, I don't know, 50 years after, you've passed, you've had a long life,
Ooh, legacy question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And people are talking about you in the past tense.
Yeah.
What would you like them to say about you?
Yeah. I'm gonna use Gareth Southgate. Woo, Gazball. He was the coach of the England national team, soccer.
Oh wow.
He said on his headstone he would want, he was like, he was something like he's a good man, I think that would be. It's like literally all I want.
Yeah.
It's just like, good. Sometimes I think about it, like, this is a thing that I think of as an actor, where I'm like, if I play a really crazy, shitty person that is just psychotic and says evil things, and I did that enough, is that something that I'm actually putting into the world, or can I just wipe my hands clean of it and say, no, it's just art. It's just art, It's just a job that I get paid for and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I would say both perspectives are correct in a sense, but I think it more depends on what someone takes away from that art, Because there's sometimes where, like, I see a psychopathic performance, and for some reason it makes me understand myself better, or makes me understand the world better, and I'm grateful for that,
Yeah.
And there's some performances that I'm like, well, this didn't give me anything but a bit of insanity, and
Right.
sometimes it's just fun, and that's just that,
Right,
Yeah, but I think it does depend on what you say. Like, if what you're saying in your performances is that, like, hey, being a fucking insane person's really cool, right? Then maybe not the best like legacy to have, right? But if it's in the context of, like, this person thinks it's being cool, but then he gets, something bad happens to him, and then you understand consequences, then I'm like, then that's a really good thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do a role where you're basically like playing a terrible, like a rapist.
You're glorifying it.
And
Yeah.
then it's like there's no message in the story other
It's
than
just horrible.
Just kind of like, didn't you see that role that I did where like
God.
he did that terrible act and then the credits were, rolled and and that was it.
That was it.
That was
Like,
it.
oh
like,
my God.
Come and see my show.
Oh my God, dude.
Please.
You would think that, like, oh, we've advanced as storytellers enough to know not to do that, but no, we don't. Like, oh my God, I can't tell you how many roles I've seen and probably even been in that were basically just that, Like,
that was the big argument against Wolf of Wall Street, honestly. Like, and Leo doing that role.
I'm with you, because there is, watching that movie, whether it's intended or not, there is a bit of glorification that happens, probably like a good bit of glorification that happens to that lifestyle,
Yeah.
And I think maybe that is a responsibility of the director or of the actors, or I don't know who holds the responsibility for that, but I think it's tough though, because you can take away whatever you want from these movies, Like, for me, like, one of the hardest movies I've ever watched, and to this day still affects me, is Requiem for a Dream. When I first watched it, I was horrified. Like it was such a rough experience that like I couldn't stop thinking about it for weeks. You know, I would have nightmares about it or whatever. You know, and at the same time though, I had buddies that they would like to, you know, drink or get high, and they would just throw that movie on in the background, like it was like a fun and games for them. Completely different experiences, right? But it's the same piece of art. You know, who's to say like what the artist's responsibility is at that point? You know, it's an odd thing.
I wouldn't want to meet those friends of yours.
You know,
necessarily, like that just wouldn't be my vibe.
I would think so too. Like it was so shocking to me. Like I was like, oh, I thought I knew these people. You know, but I did know these people. But it's like you can never fully know someone. You know,
and that's kind of like. I mean, that's where I wonder. That's where like I would love to watch an interview of, you know, whether it's like speaking to Aronofsky or speaking to Marty. I'm like, like I know him, you know.
Yeah, you know,
like,
Darren and Marty.
Oh, Marty, you know. Anyway, but like basically talking to these two directors, be like, well, what drove you to make this film? You know, like why? Obviously, it took a lot of time and a lot of effort. The acting is beyond incredible in both of these films. What is it that drove you to really want to tell this story? You know, is it just because for the, you know, the Wolf of Wall Street, because it's just fun? It's a fun, crazy ride. For Aronofsky's film, maybe he was just trying to do something that's dark and edgy and unexpected, and you know, something you wouldn't otherwise see. On like an R-rated film. Unless if that was beyond R-rated.
Well, I do know that it was censored, like in like the a certain theatrical. I think certain scenes were censored in certain theaters, and then the DVD releases. There's a censored version and a uncensored version because it's very like graphic at times.
For you kids out there, a DVD was a new technology that came out in the early 2000s or late 90s.
Late 90s, I think.
Late 90s.
I think it was late 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Oh, Jesus, we're old.
Crisp sound. Incredible colors.
Oh, my God. Word. Is there... So, when we think about, like, the place that humanity takes up in in the world today, like, is there something that you think that you'd like to change about humanity in general? Like, if you could, like,
I'd want people to be less douchebaggy, you know? Like, and I mean, that includes myself to a certain extent, but we're fucking human, you know?
We are human, exactly. We have faults.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like living in LA. It'd be nice if everybody slowed down a little bit. Like, didn't just need to get to their next place, like, and drive very fast. You know, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Honestly, just the fact that LA is such a car city is it does make me uncomfortable. It's just it's my number one gripe about this place. First, I mean, things are so expensive here, but like I would be more than happy with like. Not more than happy. Like I would much rather tolerate the expensiveness of things if we didn't have to deal with horrible traffic and horrible drivers all the time.
All the time, yeah.
All the time.
Can we fucking complain about that?
Oh my God, yes.
I'd flip this goddamn table over if we had more room.
It's so true though, and it's just not built. This is not a city that's built for this many people to be in their own individual vehicles. Like there's no space for that.
No, you hear people who've lived here for since like the 70s, where they're like, oh, traffic was never like this. And although cities have always kind of been like this, you know, it's like you hear of these stories of like New York and Brooklyn and Chicago and San Francisco.
Nowhere's like this though. But San Francisco is so much easier to get around, like on public transit than it is here. I mean, LA is I don't know. LA is weird like that, but Chicago is so much. New York is incredible, bro. Like people complain about the subway system, and it's like, yo. As messy as it is sometimes, I can get anywhere in the city, and I can even take the wrong route sometimes and still get to my destination within 5 minutes if I was taking the right route.
You know what we need? We need more world travel. We need to go to Bangkok. We need to go to Mumbai. We need to go to Paris.
Yo,
You know?
if we had, oh my God, could you
Are
imagine?
the producers paying for this?
All right.
Can we get some tickets?
Let's get
right
it,
now?
yo.
Producers?
We can go in. Let's just change the background. Let's make this Paris. Let's go.
Is that money? Money.
I do think though, if we had like mandatory travel, like, hey, look, you have to go spend 2 weeks in a different country, you know, like that would change society overnight, bro. I think we would understand each other so much better. Like the most racist, backwards people are people that never go anywhere and never see anyone new, never see anything new. You know, that's I think that insular mindset is what feeds so much of this separateness. You know,
Fuck, I haven't gone anywhere, seen anything new, which by that logic means that I'm the most racist.
Yeah, you're the most racist you've ever been, bro. No, but the thing is though, like the world is still smaller than it was, because without even having ever been to Japan, I'm sure you've seen a movie of people in Japan. You've seen TV. You understand.
I saw was it Drive My Car?
Oh, I haven't even seen that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I heard it's really good.
It's so good.
Okay. Oh yeah. What is it that inspires you?
Good film.
Good film.
Yeah, good film inspires me.
Any,
good show.
Good film. Good show. Cool. Do you have? I guess this kind of falls in there, but I'll ask anyways. Do you have like an ultimate desire that you would like achieved just experiencing your life? You know, is there some ultimate thing that you're like, oh man, this would be the pinnacle?
I would like to feel that my family is whole, well, and happy.
And by family, is that
Like my birth family.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or wanted to shout out? Anything you wanted to promote while you're here?
Yeah. I'll promote. Talk to the camera.
Go for it.
The Incredible Infinity, which is going to be coming to a tiny little screen near you at some point next year.
Ooh, I love that.
2025.
That's a great title, Incredible Infinity.
The Incredible Infinity.
Oh man, I'm excited. That's awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Cool. So one last time, who are you and where can our audience find you?
That's right. I'm JonPaul Tilleman. I'm an actor and writer here in Los Angeles, and they can find me on Instagram at JP Showman.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much for being here, man.
Cool.
Really appreciate it.
It's great.
Cool. And thanks for riding the train with us, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a squirrel.
Oh, squirrel!
Squirrel!
Squirrel! Get him! All right.